Hello friends, welcome to the analysis of the video on worksheet 4. Now this worksheet 4 is mainly based upon your percentage, syllogisms and input output. So we're gonna get you through this, and from this worksheet onwards we're gonna tell you about the answers also. So let's come to your first part, that is your quantitative aptitude. Now in quants you were given 12 questions and 12 questions of one type and 12 questions of another type. So you have to solve these 24 questions in 6 minutes, and again easy questions if you have a good knowledge about your percentage chart. So let's have some sample questions. Suppose first of all you want to convert your percentage to fractions. So the first question we took up is convert 366.66% into fraction. Now 366.6% can be broken into 300 plus 66.66%. Now 300 on dividing by 100 will give you 3, and 66.66% on dividing by 100 will give you fraction 2 by 3. So adding these two, you will get an overall answer of 11 by 3. Okay, so again we have explained this in our previous worksheet, that is worksheet 3, in detail. That is how you convert this percentage into your fractions. So you can refer to that, you can refer to the videos also. Now we come to the second part, that is your 144.44%. So what you do is you break it into 100 plus 44.44%. Now 100 will give you 1, and 44.44 is equivalent to 4 by 9, and this will be equivalent to 13 by 9. So again a simple way to convert your percentages to fractions. Now we come to the third question, that is your 142.8571. so you break it into 100 and 42.8571. okay, now this 100 will give you 1, and this 42.8571 is equivalent to 3 by 7 in terms of fractions. Okay, so this will become your 10 by 7 in terms of fractions. Now again you can easily remember this part of means this part by having a say good knowledge, or by learning, or by practicing your percentage chart. Okay, so whenever you deal with percentages, one advice, that you must be good with your percentage chart. Now we come to another example, that is your 175%. Now you can break it into 100 plus 75%. Now 100 will give you 1, and 75% you all know is equivalent to 3 by 4. So overall it will become your 7 by 4 in terms of fractions. So with this we move on to the second part of your quant section, which was to convert your fractions into percentages. Now we take up the first example, that is 25 by 8. Now you have to convert this fraction into percentage. So what you do is we break 25 into 24 plus 1 whole divided by 8. Now 24 will give you 3, and plus 1 by 8. Now 3 will be equivalent to 300%, and 1 by 8 will be equal to 12 1 by 2%. So overall it will become 312.5%. Now we move on to your second example, that is 16 by 7. Now for 16 by 7 you break 16 into 14 plus 2 divided by 7. Now this will give you 2 plus 2 by 7, and 2 will become 200, and 2 by 7 in terms of percentages approximately 28%. So it will give you an approximate of 228%. okay, so again it is just about knowledge of your percentage chart. Okay, so again percentage chart is very important when you deal with percentages. Now we move on to the third example, that is 35 by 6. So you break 35 into 30 plus 5, and divided by 6. Now this will give you 5 plus 5 by 6, and this 5 will turn into 500, and this 5 by 6 is equivalent to 83%. So overall it will become 583.33%. Okay, so now move on to another example, that is 80 by 11. Now this 80 by 11, you can break 80 into 77 plus 3 whole divided by 11. Now this 77 will give you 7, and 3 by 11 will give you a fraction equivalent to 27%. Now adding those two, what you'll get is 727.27%. So again, you can clearly observe that with the help of your percentage chart, I am able to do all these conversions from percentages to fractions and vice versa easily. So again, your knowledge of percentage chart, or you can say that your percentage chart is an important tool while solving this question. It is the best shortcut you can apply, and you don't have to remember much of the things from percentage chart. Okay, so in this quant section you were allotted 6 minutes, and you can easily do in these 24 questions in near about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so these 24 questions, they were a task of just 4 or 5 minutes. So if you are able to do these 24 questions in this time limit, then you are good with fractions and percentages. Okay, so with this we move on to our next section, that is your reasoning section. Now, in reasoning section, you were given 12 minutes, and there were questions based upon, there were 10 questions, 5 from syllogisms and 5 from your input output. Now, syllogisms is one topic I would say you must practice a lot, because it is a very common topic and one of the easiest and quickest topic to attempt in a reasoning section. Okay, so again, the main technique for doing syllogisms is your Venn diagram, you all know. And how to use your Venn diagram, well, we have a video about it, you can refer to that video also. But here we have to discuss about means how to attempt these questions here. So let's take a quick example. So you are given a statement, you are given 4 statements and followed by 3 conclusions. Then there are 5 options, and you have to select the correct from the 5 options given to you. Okay, so this is a quick summary of the section. So first, let's take one example. So you are given a statement that is some tires are ropes. So using your Venn diagram, you draw this like this. That is, some tires are ropes. Okay, so you all know, for this type of statement we draw this diagram. And next statement given to you is some ropes are tents. So what we do is we draw a tent like this, because again, I have my own rules to solve these questions, so I follow those rules. So how I follow those, means what rules I follow, you can refer to the video. Okay, so that will be helpful. So I draw tent like this, and the next statement is some tents are walls. So I draw tents and walls like this. And now next statement is some walls are buildings. So I draw buildings like this. Okay, so now you can see I have drawn these diagrams, and now I come to the conclusions. Okay, so some buildings are ropes. Now first of all, what I see is my all the statements, all the given statements are positive statements. Okay, so I quickly go through my conclusions, and since there is, if there is any negative conclusion, I'll reject that conclusion. That is one of the rules I follow. Okay, and it always proves out to be helpful. Okay, so since there is no negative conclusions in the given set of conclusions, so that rule is not useful here. Okay, now what I do is, since all the conclusions are positive, I refer to my diagram. Okay, so अगेन सारे कंक्लूजन्स देखे, कोई कंक्लूजन नेगेटिव नहीं है, एंड मेरी स्टेटमेंट सारी पॉजिटिव हैं. अगर कंक्लूजन्स में कोई नेगेटिव कंक्लूजन होता तो मैं उसे डायरेक्टली रिजेक्ट कर देता। सिंस यहाँ पे कोई कंक्लूजन नेगेटिव नहीं है तो वो रूल की कोई ज़रूरत भी नहीं है, ठीक है। नाउ आई चेक विच ऑफ दीज कंक्लूजन्स, प्रपोज्ड कंक्लूजन्स रादर, इनमें से जो भी प्रपोज कंक्लूजन है वो क्या मेरे इस डायग्राम में सही होता है या नहीं होता। तो फर्स्ट इज सम बिल्डिंग्स आर रोप्स। नाउ सम बिल्डिंग्स आर रोप्स, ये इस डायग्राम में नहीं सही, दैट मीन्स कंक्लूजन वन इज फॉल्स। Okay, now this proposed conclusion is not an actual conclusion. That is what I mean to say, that this C1 is false. Now I come to second conclusion, that is some walls are ropes. Now some walls are ropes मेरे इस डायग्राम में नहीं सही हो रहा, that means second is also false. And I come to the third conclusion, that is some tents are tires. Now some tents are tires, again इस डायग्राम में तो नहीं हो रहा ट्रू, दैट मीन्स दिस इज अगेन फॉल्स. सो all the three are false and my answer is 1, that is none follows. Okay, so this is how you attempt your syllogisms, and if you have a good practice, syllogisms question hardly take near about, means if you have 5 questions you can easily solve them in 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, they are time saving questions and scoring as well. So do practice syllogisms a lot. Okay, so this is how I solve the question. To have a detailed view, you can refer to our video on syllogisms. Okay, so with this we move on to our next question or next example from this set. Now this is question number 3, and it says that all chairs are fires. So I draw this like this, that is all chairs are fires. Now the second statement says that some fires are winds. So I draw it like this, that is some fires are winds. And now the third statement says that all winds are nets. So I draw it like this, that is all winds are nets. And the fourth statement says that some nets are clocks. So I draw it like this, that is some nets are clocks. So after drawing this diagram from the four statements, I come to my conclusions. Again I check that if there is any negative conclusion or not, because all the statements are positive. But that rule is not useful in this situation also, so I switch on to my diagram. So first conclusion says that some clocks are winds. Now some clocks are winds. This is not true in my given diagram. This conclusion one ये मेरे डायग्राम में सही नहीं हो रहा, दैट मीन्स conclusion one is false. Now the second statement says that some nets are fires. Some nets are fires. ये सही हो रहा है. So I take it, means I keep it aside. Now the third statement says that some winds are chairs. Some winds are chairs. Now ये भी सही नहीं हो रहा, that means this is also false. Now I consider this thing, that is some nets are fires. Now what I say is I have a relation in, means I have a relation in fires and winds. Okay, and then there is winds and nets, and I have to find relation between nets and fire. हमें given है some fires are winds. Okay, this is true, and all winds are nets. All winds are nets. Okay, basically what I do is whichever situation comes out to be true, मैं उसको गलत करने की कोशिश करता हूँ. अगर मैं उसे गलत कर देता हूँ या मैं कोई ऐसा डायग्राम सोच पाता हूँ जिसमें वो गलत हो रहा है, ठीक है, ये वाली चीज़ अगर कोई डायग्राम मैं ऐसा बना सकता हूँ गिवन सिचुएशन में इन 4 स्टेटमेंट्स से, अगर मैं कोई ऐसा डायग्राम बना सकता हूँ जिसमें ये चीज़ गलत प्रूव हो जाए, ठीक है, दैट मीन्स ये भी गलत हो जाएगा, ठीक है. सो what I do is I am given that fires and winds, मतलब some fires are winds and all winds are nets. So now this wind circle, it can maximum expand up to this net circle. Okay, means they can overlap, मतलब एक के ऊपर एक आ जाएंगे, इससे ज़्यादा तो winds जा ही नहीं सकता. तो अगर winds उस केस में भी क्या होगा, नेट के साथ ओवरलैप भी कर जाएगा तो भी उसका कुछ हिस्सा, मीन्स इन दैट केस इवन नेट तो हमेशा फायर्स के साथ कुछ शेयर करेगा ना, दैट मीन्स सम नेट्स आर फायर्स हमेशा ट्रू रहेगा. मीन्स फायर्स और नेट्स को मैं किसी भी डायग्राम में अलग नहीं कर सकता, यही मतलब हुआ। ओके, सो अगेन दिस मीन्स दैट सेकेंड इज ऑलवेज ट्रू, मीन इसका कोई और डायग्राम नहीं बन सकता, ठीक है। नेट्स और फायर्स में कुछ हमेशा कॉमन रहेगा ही रहेगा, देयरफॉर योर आंसर इज ओनली टू फॉलोज। ओके, सो this is how you attempt your syllogisms question, and this is how I prefer, and by practice you can have a good hold over it. Okay, so providing you the answers for this. Now the answers for the syllogism section is for these, that is one, it is one, option number one. So this is your question and this is your option, so you can match your answers through this. Okay, because reasoning is one part where everyone is doubtful, so you can match your answers by this, and you can ask for your explanation, or for any explanation you can contact us, or just comment on the video, or anything, however you want to contact, you can contact us. So these are the answers for your syllogisms part. Now we move on to your input output part. Now this is your input output, and again, input output is, say it is a lengthy question because you have to write a lot in this. Okay, you have to take care of a lot while writing. So again, this was your input and you have to find out the logic. So by comparing your input and your last step, you can clearly see that alphabets are arranged in their alphabetical order, that is from A to Z, and numbers are arranged in, say, decreasing order. And how they are arranged: first you have arranged a letter or a word, and after that you have arranged a number. Okay, so letter and number, letter and number, this is the sequence of arranging. And letters you have to arrange in alphabetical order, A to Z, and numbers you have to arrange in decreasing order. So this is our logic of the machine. So again, the most important thing in input output is how you write. And what I have done is I have written, means I have shown the way how, means how this example can be written. So you can apply that method or whatever method you like to solve your input output. The thing is, input output is one thing, you can never go wrong. Okay, once you have the logic, you can never go wrong. Again, it is a scoring topic and you must score on it. Okay, so with this we move on to our input output example. So this was your input. I have written it in short, that is for day I have written in D, then 74, means I have written the first letters of the words, and then I have written numbers in complete. So in first step, what was done is A was arranged. Okay, that is all was taken forward. So I have done is I have cut A from here and I have written it in front. Okay, at its actual place. And in second step, what was done is 74 was arranged. So what I have done is A 74. So now I know that A 74 and this remaining line represents this sequence, that is the uh, sequence which is not arranged after omitting this A and 74. Okay, so automatically I know that this line represents this sequence. Okay, that is this remaining sequence. Okay, so now we move on to the third step. In third step, what happens is A 74 and now D has to be arranged after this. Okay, because alphabetically A, now number is arranged, now there will be turn for a word to be arranged. Now D is automatically arranged, so what we'll do is we'll arrange a number in the next step. So I'll cut D and 68 simultaneously, and this represents this entire sequence of this thing, that is your this part of N and F. So this represents your this part. Okay, so now we move on to the fourth step. In fourth step, what I do is, now the sequence is becoming large, so I underline it because I know almost this sequence is arranged. Now this much is left, and I can afford to write it like, means I can afford it like this. This sequence can be written with represented by an underline, so I represent this like this. And what I do is, now you have to arrange a word after this. So I cut down F and write F here, and represent the remaining sequence. So this is how I generally write my input output while solving this. Now this makes your work easy and you can easily solve your input output. So this is your arranged sequence at the end. So with every in input output questions, with every new question you have a new input. So you can adopt this method to write your steps while arranging them, and you can solve these questions. Now there is one particular question that I want to talk about in your input output, and that one question is this particular question. That is a question in which you are given an intermediate step and you have to predict which is the input definitely. Now this question is one of the easiest questions, I would say, and you can never miss on this question, and you can never miss out on this question. And this question has a clear cut answer, that is can't be determined, and you can easily score 1 mark or 2, whatever the weightage is. So again, just be aware of this question, and whenever input output comes, just look for this question where you have to means in one which you have to tell the input. You are given an intermediate step like your step 2 or 3 or 4, and you have to predict the input. And just means just be sure that it is a question of input output, not a batch based question. Okay, because in batch based you can still predict the input, but in this type of questions where you have to arrange, not in the form of batches but simply arrange, your input is unpredictable, so answer will be can't be determined. Okay, so this is one question which is always scoring. Now why the answer is always can't be determined, that you can refer to our video also. Okay, because there is a detailed explanation about it. Now I'm gonna tell you the answers for this. The answers for this are, so these are the answers, that is sixth is C, seventh is E, eighth is C, ninth is D, and 10th is C. So these are your answers for your input output. And this particular section, it was allotted 12 minutes, and you could have easily done these questions because of syllogisms. You could have easily done these questions in, say, near about 12 means 11 to 12 minutes. Okay, means this was enough time to do these questions. So again, the thing is all about how you manage your questions and how you attempt your questions. So overall, from quants and reasoning, you could have saved near about, say, 1 or 2 minutes out of your say 18 minutes, and you could have easily done with 100% accuracy all the questions. Okay, so again, it depends upon your practice. So now we move on to your English part from this worksheet. So now in English, you were given again 5 words, and you have to find the meaning of these words. Now, the meaning of these words are as follows. Dexterous means skillful, means one who can do things easily. Okay, one who is good at doing various things. He's dexterous. He's means called dexterous. Okay, you can means related to, if you have watched your Cartoon Network, that is Dexter was brilliant. So you can say that dexterous is skillful. Okay, so now we come to the second word, that is ambivalent. Ambivalent means uncertain. Now, uncertain in terms of his behavior, and means he can behave either ways. Ambi means both positive and negative. So he is uncertain regarding his behavior, or she is uncertain regarding his behavior or tone. So that is what ambivalent means. Ambiguity means uh, doubtful. Okay, doubtful or unclear. Ambiguity means, for example, I say खाना खाते हैं and you say देख लो. Now this dekh lo, it doesn't define whether you want to eat or you don't want to eat. So this is ambiguity. Okay, this is what ambiguity means, that is doubtful or unclear. Okay, Anarchy, it means disorder. Okay, you all know the political scenarios. Everyone is calling each other person as anarchist. So anarchist means disorder, unlawfulness. Okay. Now the last word is geologist. Now geologist is a person who studies geology, and geology is a study of earth. So person who studies earth is a geologist. Okay. So these are the words, just remember these words and learn their synonyms and antonyms. Now we come to the last thing, that is your difference between the words eminent and imminent. Now, eminent means a well known person. Okay, eminent with E means a well known person, and imminent means inevitable. Okay, so how to relate it? Eminent, that is this well, E from well, and imminent means inevitable, that is I. हिंदी में what we say is eminent is जाना माना, जाना माना व्यक्ति, टाटा अंबानी, मिस्टर प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड ऑल, ठीक है, सब जाने माने होते हैं. एंड इमिनेंट मीन्स जो ना रोका जा सके या जो टाला ना जा सके, दैट इज़ इमिनेंट. ओके, सो these are the words, these are rather simple words, they are easy to distinguish. So you can clearly remember the meaning of these two words and distinguish them and their usage. Okay, so at the end, what I want to say is that your worksheet, it was completely based upon your quants and reasoning and all the important, or rather the easy parts from your both the sections. And you could have easily done within, say, you given 12 plus 6 minutes, so out of 18 minutes you could have easily done within 4 and 10, that is say 15 minutes. Means out of 18 minutes, in 15 minutes you could have done all the sections that is quants and reasoning, and could have easily done all the questions with 100% accuracy, provided if you are practicing well. Okay, so this was your analysis about your worksheet 4, and hope you like the video, and just mail us or contact us with your queries. We'll try to solve your queries, especially regarding syllogisms. So keep watching Prof. Bank videos. Thank you for watching, and all the best for your preparations.